I'm a depressed CEO. I'm no one. I'm alone.
Well, I don't have a computer, but I use my iPad for preliminary sketch works and stuff like that because you can use layers and it's just a little easier. There's a lot of shortcuts going off. I don't consider it real drawing when I use my pad.
Yeah.
Using pen and paper feels you're more connected to your work.
I was going to ask, one of my first early questions was going to be, what's your favourite sort of format? Obviously, you've seen quite a lot of advancements and changes in, I guess, what's available to draw on and draw with during your time as an artist. But is it still paper?
I prefer to draw on paper when I can. I'm doing an exhibition that's coming up in a few weeks' time, and it's called Vive la Nans, and it's just basically pencil sketches and ink drawings of Nans. And I've been going through that for a while now, drawing them, and really enjoyed going back to that process of just that scratchiness of pencil in paper. It just feels so nice. It's a really organic process.
Yeah.
And then obviously with me predominantly being an artist that paints, using my usual medium paints is something I really prefer.
Yeah.
I do like using the Procreate on iPad, but at its most basic, where I'm just simply using a few layers to line up. So there's a sketching layer, then there's a few others, and you can edit it and mess around with it rather than just messing about using a rubber 46,000 times to get the right angle.
Mate, absolutely. I guess like getting ideas out there sometimes, like the speed of it, the availability of it.
Yeah, and if I'm doing design work, it's a great shortcut. So I'm not having to do a painting for something. I can just do it on the iPad, and it's it works out perfectly well that way, and it saves a lot of time messing. So I do prefer the iPad, where it's a necessary evil for certain jobs.
Yeah,
sure,
mate, absolutely. I'm assuming we're starting, Dave, because we do we just do a rolling start, but
a little cold open, really.
Yeah, for those that
don't know,
keep
it natural.
For those that don't know, at home we are sat here with legendary former vegetarian artist Pete McKee. Wonderful to have you here, mate. Thank you so much for coming down.
Yeah, it's all good.
Wanted to start really with, I guess like a bit of a timeline of your career. So grew up in Batemore in Sheffield.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So I grew up there. 1966, I was born.
Nice.
I had a great childhood, as I said. You had its ups and downs, but nothing major happened. I lost my mum when I was 7. So that was quite a significant turning point in my life. But after that, mates, football, music, wanted to be in a band, left school, joined the band, hoped to become successful on Top at Pops.
Yeah.
5 years down the line, that didn't happen, so kicked that into touch and then went to my first love, which is drawing and cartooning.
Brilliant.
And so I spent the rest of my life trying to become a full-time cartoonist. And
how's that going?
Well,
pretty well.
Good question. Well, I knocked that in the head, funnily enough. So what the case is I flipped from being a cartoonist to an artist, but I used a cartoon style. So my training over the years, so from being 13 or whatever, drawing cartoons all the way through my life, then you're learning your skills to draw and to compose an image. Composition is so vital to make artwork work.
Yeah.
So people who say they can't draw necessarily, that's not necessarily the issue. It's can you compile a picture that makes sense when you look at it?
Yeah.
So is everything set in the right place and stuff? So you can be as abstract as you want, but there's a certain level of composition in that abstraction, and it's understanding why composition works. And I don't know, is there one guy who said it's like 10,000 hours sort of thing, and you become...
You to learn something properly, you have to invest that amount of hours.
Yeah, and so that's what I've done through my life, drawing cartoons, and it came up to the point where when I flipped and I couldn't no longer make ends meet drawing cartoons, and I realised that fine art is a path to pursue because financially it's more rewarding.
Yeah,
as an outcome, because obviously when you work as a freelance commission-based artist, so you are looking at organisations to pay you wages.
Yeah,
they have a set fee, and that may be like, say, if you went to a greeting card company, you came up with a set of designs. They would, or usually when I was doing it back then, and it won't have changed a great deal. 'Cause
Yeah.
nothing ever does.
Did you see this sort of manipulation in it then? Was there because I mean, I don't want to jump ahead too much, but you're quite a rock and roll guy, I'd say. You got I'd say that you'd stand up for stuff that isn't right, and
Well, I
that
think
you have good morals, and you have sort of so when you're seeing
I try to project a kind of a socialist attitude when it comes to work and stuff and whatever I do. But
that's probably a better way of saying it.
when it comes to that kind of level of work, you almost have to accept that you're getting screwed over when you're doing these things because there's no other option unless you do it yourself.
Yeah.
So if you set your own publishing company up, then
you
can be more powerful. But while you're not doing that, while you haven't got the tools to do that, you're having to rely on publishing companies to pay your way.
Yeah.
And that set fees tends to not be negotiable unless obviously you feel like you end up with this blockbusting range and everybody then wants you and then you've got more of a say. But until then, you're just like the bottom feeder. So 180 quid for a drawing, 180 quid for a gag. And that's it, end of. And no matter how many it sells, also they're taking on the risk that it might not sell at all. And you've just wasted their money, time and effort.
Can I ask what was a sort of turning point for you then? Was there a particular drawing that you did, or was there a particular moment? Was there somebody that said to you, hey, why don't you strike out on your own a bit here?
I think what basically, I've always been working freelance as a cartoonist, and it's been for years and years, and I would always had part-time jobs as well to supplement my income. I was the only breadwinner in the household. My wife suffers from bipolar, so it was quite severe. So she can't hold down the job. So I was like kind of not to say carer as such, but I just basically made sure that I was the main breadwinner and made sure we steered the family and looked after things. So that was a mother of a necessity to do that, is to stay freelance, but also make sure that I had an income working as a postman and then also working at Tesco's. So I was always got jobs. But always the dream was that the cartooning career would hit and I'd end up not needing to do any other work other than cartooning. But further and further down the line, not saying the income was drying up, but the income needed to be more than what I was earning.
Yeah.
And there was even a threshold point where I thought, well, I'm going to have to jack it all in because it's not working at all. And I just end up, I don't know, becoming like trying to become a Tesco's manager or something daft like that. It was while I was working at Tesco's, I thought, well, maybe this is the way I've got to go because nothing's working out for me financially when it comes to the art side of things. And then just a course of kind of lucky accidents. There was someone's birthday coming up. It was it was their 40th birthday, so I wanted something special. Yeah. And I decided to do a painting for him. And so I just had some MDF board that we're going to use for like a shelf or a tabletop. And I used some emulsion paints that we'd got in the house because my wife's bipolar at the time, wasn't diagnosed. So in a high period, she'd paint the house in various bright colours. And so we had a fair few tins of bright coloured emulsion kicking around. So I used that to form the basis. And I aped a style similar to sort of Tintin, Hergé's, Tintin, kind of cartoon-esque, flat lines, black lines and flat colours. And I really liked the result. I really liked what I'd done.
Was it? So it was a painting of the person whose birthday it was? Or?
No, it was just I think it was like a bar scene or something. It was basically just some kind of cartoon-esque image. But that resulted in me to try and explore that as an avenue to do some paintings. And so I did a few more to get myself a little kind of, I'd say portfolio, with just me taking a photograph on a Instamatic camera and then cobbling them together onto 3 or 4 A4 sheets of paper.
Different period in time this is. What sort of era was this in, Pete, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, it was just 2004.
So 2004, so like 20 years ago, about 20 years ago. Yeah. And at that point you'd been painting for, I guess, 20...
No, that's when I was painting, that's what I'm saying. So drawing cartoons, I was drawing cartoons all through my life. Yeah. I tried to make it as a serious pastime around about when I was 26. Yeah. So that'll have been 86.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, you've been drawing, you've been creating art,
Yeah,
even in the form of cartooning
yeah.
for quite some time. By
Oh
that,
yeah,
by
absolutely.
That point.
Always. It's just been basically not non-stop.
Yeah,
But then the actual physical putting paint
yeah. The physical paint thing was
to
2004.
paper, and with the serious intent to become an artist.
Yeah,
I'd mucked about with it every now and again as a concept to just mess about. But
yeah,
once this little style had clicked, and I then worked on the subject matter what I wanted to do. I set up about 5 or 6 different paintings,
yeah.
seaside-esque kind of reminiscence, childhood thoughts and memories, and I set up an exhibition in the Washington pub.
Amazing. Great boozer, by the way. If you are a Sheffield local, you will know. If you're not, go and visit when you come here. Fantastic place. So your first exhibition was in a pub.
Yeah.
One of the first things that I saw you do, I think was it Pub Scroll? It was
Scroll,
called,
yeah.
which was also brilliant. A lot of the work that you've done in subsequent years, you've still used that medium, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You haven't exhibited solely in like art spaces or exclusive spaces. You've used pubs.
No,
done art spaces as well, but-
I've always tried to. Well, I've exhibited in some galleries through the first period of finding out what I wanted to do. So when I was just basically looking for places to hang, initially it was pubs and bars. So there was a Washington, then the Forum.
Yeah.
Then there was a cafe restaurant called the Mash House, which was a tiny place, and it just did mash-based foods.
Yeah.
You know, like sausages and mash and all that kind of
I
stuff.
love that. That sounds great. Does that not
Yeah.
exist anymore?
No, it don't. It's a Chinese.
I
dim
can't
sum
believe there's
place
not a
now.
market for that.
Yeah, I know.
Mash.
Yeah, I know.
Love that.
So I were doing these small paintings, and they're for 99 quid a piece. And each week I just got to keep coming back to replace them because people were buying them.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. So that was like the catalyst, really. Those 3 little things showed me that what I was doing was kind of in the right direction. And it wasn't long after that I quit my job at Tesco's.
I'm kind of curious as to like you were thinking about, oh, do you know what, I might have to become a manager here. How much of a crossover was there where you were like, oh, I might be, were you thinking about it for a few years, or was it like that year? Or
I think that it was just one particular part in that year, just before I started painting these pictures, that I thought, well, this is going nowhere. I've got a realization the debts are mounting.
Yeah.
I'm really we're under, we're writing payday checks out and stuff left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Getting envelopes coming through letterbox threatening.
What's a payday check?
Payday loan. So you write a check for 100 quid.
Oh, okay.
So a payday loan place, they'll give you 80 quid.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, so we're doing that all the time. So I was like robbing Pete's pay Paul.
yeah,
So absolutely, genuinely, we as a family were really, really skint, and so I just thought this is where it's going to have to be, and then it just absolutely changed my world and my life.
Are you a bit woo-woo?
What's that?
I'm a bit like
like you
woo-woo.
believe
I
in the
believe in
universe
divine
and stuff.
intervention. I believe the universe has a plan for you, and I think sometimes
No.
I don't know if you're woo-woo at all. I am.
All right, yeah. No,
I think sometimes just things align for you, and I think it was meant to.
I don't know. You can sometimes believe that, can't you? It's easy to convince yourself if something good fortune finally comes your way that it's a gift. But I find a lot of times just hard work.
Yeah,
Well, of course.
And
Yeah,
luck
yeah,
and
yeah,
fortitude
yeah,
and being at right place at right time, but not necessarily it's divine. I'd rather, if it was divine intervention, they step in a bit sooner.
I think you need to go to the brink sometimes, the way it happens.
Yeah.
Like you just keep going. Like we
Yeah.
was talking about the glass ceiling effect.
Yeah.
And I see it because I look at a lot of study cases when it comes to artists, and they always seem to a lot of the time struggle. Then they pop through, and it seems to be like I can't just help. There's this overwhelming kind of story arc that happens.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you before
Yeah.
the pod. I was like, did that happen
Yeah.
to you as well? It's like, yeah, kind of. You struggle until bang, you kind of
Yeah.
made it, and I think if you just keep going, I mean.
Well,
Maybe I have to believe that because
No,
we're doing
well,
this
I-
journey. Joy.
yeah. That's it.
I always fight hard to try and make my own luck, in a sense that if something's not going right in a way, I fight twice as hard to change that or correct
Yeah.
it. So in that respect, it's all down to tenacity in a sense, and just perseverance, bloody mindedness. Sometimes it's a curse, and sometimes it's a benefit.
I'd say
Certainly,
Jim
yeah,
has
it
that.
certainly seems that way.
I say you have that in spades out of their relationship.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. That's very kind of you.
You have that tenacity just to keep going.
Well, thank you. What do you want? Do you want
Nothing,
something? No, you're all right.
Just singing your praises.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That's nice. Little compliment.
You know, it's lovely,
look at that.
yeah.
He must want something, Pete. He must want something.
I'll talk to you after the
Compliment.
pod,
Yeah,
mate.
okay, cool.
Those pork pies you've got in your bag, mate.
Yeah. Do you want one of these pork pies? I've got
No.
6. I've got 6. You can have one. It's
Maybe.
all right. So just going back to that a little bit. Your sort of style, the paintings that you create, obviously, they say quite a lot with very few lines, as many people have described your work.
Yeah.
But you create you convey emotion and stuff like that from the people that you put in the paintings. There's many famous works like Meat and Tater Pie, the Kiss, or is it the Snog?
Snog.
Sorry, the Snog.
Yeah.
Which is on the side of Fagan's.
I was
now.
literally going to say that.
That's
yeah.
correct, yeah.
Immortalised forever on the side of Fagan's. So,
By the way, how did you paint that up there?
Yeah.
Is that hard to go from like such a small scale to such a huge scale?
That was one of those kind of make your own destiny moments, because I'd got an exhibition coming up called The Joy of Chef, and it was in a factory. So as we went back to where I exhibit,
yeah,
a lot of the places I exhibit are independently found, and they're just basically factory warehouses and or higher spaces that are empty, and I have to then sort of build a set so the work can be shown. So, for instance, the Frank and Joy show that I had recently, that was in Trafalgar Warehouse, which is again, sometimes it's a wedding space, sometimes it's a DJ, party place, and I used it for a week to make an exhibition there. So it was
beautiful.
There was no usable walls to hang, but I built a pub interior. I got a friend who's a set designer for a theatre, and he designed and built this interior for a pub. And so that was linked to the pub scroll that you talked about.
Yeah.
So it was that couple, the people, Frank and Joy, who's on the Snog mural itself. It's their life story.
Beautiful.
And it's told that it's set in this one place. It's this pub. So, because it's to highlight how pubs are a community hub.
Yeah.
And we use them from cradle to grave.
Yes.
So we celebrate christenings there. We celebrate significant birthdays. We propose to people. We have wedding receptions there.
Yeah.
My wedding reception was in Washington pub with my wife.
Amazing.
And that, and then obviously one of the final acts is a wake.
Yeah.
So the cradle to grave, and so the pub's used as a central hub.
Yeah.
All the way through in communities.
How do you? I don't want to be like, how do you think of these things? But like, how do you come to these realizations? I was going to say, as part of your artwork, before what was the kind of point I was trying to get to was, had you, when you started painting, had you already been cartooning in the sort of style that you ended up painting in, or was this kind of like eventually like all your sort of favorite little things that you notice about people and about situations and all that sort of stuff? Did that just finally click and come into one place and you were like, I should just paint like the football fan who's just watched his team lose with his sort of shoulders?
Yeah, no, my cartooning style was completely different to the style that I used for my paintings.
Yeah.
I did come about it through a doodle. Yeah. So I was drawing and finally came to this stylized version where there was no eyes, just a line.
Yeah.
So that I could draw cartoonesque but without it looking like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
So that's why that was there. There was kind of like this minimal spacing.
Yeah.
And so I used that concept to turn it into a painting, because what I didn't want to do is to make them look like cartoons.
Yeah.
So I needed some sort of fine art aspect to it. So if I started to do these paintings where the characters had too much expression, it would end up being too much like a cartoon drawing.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be some level of realism, but with obviously a surreal kind of delivery with the actual fact there's no lines and stuff. But make it really relatable, make it so understandable. So then once I'd got the style, the thought process to what was going to be the subject matter came about by listening to an interview by Ray Charles on a TV program, who at this interview was telling about when he was a young lad and he used to go around all these juke joints and places and do impersonations of Nat King Cole,
right?
Like a crooner guy, and he was good at it, so he believed. But this booking agent, this guy who owned this place, said, "Oh man, you're really good as as Nat King Cole, but there's one guy better than you at that." He says, "Who?" He says, "Nat King Cole."
Yeah, yeah,
He says,
yeah.
Who's Ray Charles? What does Ray Charles do?" And he realised he had to be himself to be this artist.
Right.
And at that point, I was trying to work with this sort of Americana idea with my work, with like cactuses and kind of like Arizona and these kind of Americanesque images
Yeah.
for my painting style. And it just like flipped on a penny. I should really ditch something I don't know and not related to with this Americana stuff.
Yeah.
And just talk about me and what I know about my life. And so my painting then, the whole direction of my artwork flipped on that one TV moment. And I started then painting pictures about waiting outside pubs for my dad and sort of stuff, and going to fairgrounds and all the things I did as a kid. And that's what was the majority of the basis for the first exhibition at the Washington pub. And that's where it's been kind of all the way through my career. Is I'll dip in and out, so I'll do nostalgia, but I'll also then do contemporary nostalgia as well, where it comes about music and bands and stuff, later stuff. And, but it's a rich theme, and it's just great to hear people when they talk to me about the work and why they've got it on the wall. There's a very specific reason why it hangs up there, and it's not simply because they like it matches their rug.
Yeah.
Or their settee. It's because it reminds them of somebody or something that they've done, and that's the be and all and end all of what my art's all about, really.
I really love that, man. That's really beautiful. One thing I was going to say is there's a lot of people that I know. So I came to Sheffield as a student and I stayed. My dad's from here, so I've been coming all my life, but then moved over as a student and lived here for 6 years, and I've worked here ever since, and really deep and sort of like good a passion for the city, I suppose, because of just the homeliness of it and the way that people are here and the way that they sort of accept you. And I know that a lot of people have sort of come and gone, but to all of those, I think like a Pete McKee will always be like there'll always be a smile if they see one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would know who that is, what that is, and it would remind them of a certain time and place in their lives. Do you realize that when you create art, like what you've sort of given to people? Do you ever think of it from that sort of perspective?
It's something that makes me happy.
Yeah.
The thought that's what people associate my work with. It is just a fondness and a connectivity, and it's something that's shared. But I guess where there's a disconnect from that is I'm so driven to wonder what the next theme's going to be for my next exhibition.
Yeah.
That becomes all consuming. And I have got one eye on what my work, when it's produced, is how will people connect with this? How will people like this? And sometimes, like the last two exhibitions, which is this one I'm working, which is exhibited now at the Western Park Museum, The Boy with a Leg Named Brian.
Yeah.
And the one not the one before that. Well, the Frank and Joy show again, and then prior to that one, which was Don't Adjust Your Mindset. Those last three exhibitions have actually been quite artwork that hasn't deliberately been trying to be sellable, but more tell a narrative, and to its saleability detriment in a sense, because the image has to tell the story I wanted to tell, and whether that's going to be a commercial purchase or not for somebody who wants to buy an original piece of artwork or a print, it may not connect in that level, but to tell the story, get from A to B, that was the important bit. So for the last three shows, the original paintings have been more not selfishly created, but just I've not thought so much about the saleability of them, but more importantly the narrative of what they're meant to be, because each exhibition had a story to it that was quite important. So Don't Adjust Your Mindset, which was, I rented the space at the Millennium Gallery. I rented 2 rooms out there for a week and put this show on, and it was basically just out of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically my reaction to my time on social media and the disconnectivity and the discourse that is, and how polluting being on social media is
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
your mind, and also to how we perceive the world. So I picked on a lot of different subjects throughout the world of social media.
Yeah.
And so therefore they were so quite narratively driven. So therefore they told a good story, but not necessarily if the vision itself, the image itself may not necessarily been commercial.
Yeah.
And then obviously Frank and Joy's story, then that was a very strong narratively driven story. And this one as well, which is basically my childhood,
Yes.
told in five sections, 5 chapters. And again, so in the early works, it was probably a little bit more like kind of more playful,
Yeah.
whereas these last 3 exhibitions have been very more pointed and very more directed to tell a certain narrative.
That's really wonderful answer. Thank you. One thing I was going to say is, has anybody ever said to you, like, your life is so colourful? And you've the boy with the leg named Brian, and like the little cuteness, like to those sorts of stories. And I know obviously it's like a nostalgia thing for you, but like I guess your kind of upbringing and like living in Sheffield and the people that you knew and everything. Does it feel special to you, or do you just go, that was just it? Like,
No, my upbringing was normal,
yeah.
incredibly normal, as most people's was. Bored through 6-week holiday.
How do you pick out these lovely little moments then, Pete, when you think back
I just
to
think
it
they
through?
are just this minutiae of life that we all. I mean, there's no like unique moment in a sense. Like there's a painting of a kid in the show and he's watching TV upside down on the chair.
Yeah.
That's not a unique or spectacular thing. It just happened that everybody did that as a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, yeah.
You'd sit upside down on the chair
Yeah.
and watch TV.
Do you think it takes a special sort of eye to see that and be like, that's the thing
Yeah,
that I should paint though?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's so bizarrely such a small concept of detail. But I think it's just I don't know. I think I revel in the small detail
Yeah.
in things. So even like kind of whether it's a narrative or it's a tag that's exposed on a shirt from an old lady where you can see her from the back,
Yeah.
and she's got a dress on but the label's sticking out. So there's not a lot of detail in my work, but there's a lot of detail in my work.
Yes. One thing I was going to say is, obviously some of the stuff you've done more recently, Don't Adjust Your Mindset, and sorry, the other work you were saying about, what was it?
Frank and Joy?
Frank and Joe, thank you. Before that, when you draw in the kid upside down, the tag hanging out of the shirt, you having a little chuckle to yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it
No,
brings a
that's
smile
funny,
to my face when I'm creating it, then I know, it's a good painting.
Yeah.
That's something I didn't even think about, We all did it. I did it.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that until now.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, we did do that.
Yeah.
I did hang upside down and watch TV.
Those little things just connect with people, like,
Yeah.
so, like just it's just normal stuff, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
but normal stuff is important, would you argue?
Well, that's it. It's reaffirming that we're not weirdos,
Yeah.
and if we are weirdos, there's a few of us kicking around.
Yeah.
But what ties everything together, I think, with the work, the minimalism and the concept is the narrative of the writing that I put into the work as well.
Yeah.
And this last exhibition, especially, and Frank and Joy were very narrative driven. So there's a little, almost quite an elongated paragraph with each painting,
Yeah.
telling a story of what that painting is. So it's almost the paintings become illustrations,
Yes. Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
sense. But people really, really warm to that concept
Yeah.
of the narrative tied in with the image, and it's important as well because the work is so minimalistic at times that adding that extra detail, and it's there as well to keep people in the room and reading and
Yeah.
engaged in the work, rather than, because it'd be very easy for anybody going to an art exhibition, even if you go and see Rembrandt, you're just going to scoot past
Yeah.
Picasso. You'll have a quick look, but you're mindful that there's other people
Yeah.
behind you. So you never really look at a piece of artwork for any length of time.
I agree, and I think sometimes you look at a picture and it grabs you, and you're like, you want to look at more of it because there's a lot of it to look at. And I mean, even if it's a simple drawing, and you're making your own conclusions and stuff about what's there. And then other times you're like, oh, that one's not for me. But if you've got a narrative, you're like, but I need to know what this one says so I can read the next one.
Yeah.
Are your recent exhibitions a sign of you sort of developing and maturing as an artist in a style? One thing I was going to ask is, because your artwork is so kind of playful and universal, the tags on the shirts and all that, the upside down, watching the TV thing, has that brought through people that are interested in your art that might not have been to art shows before? Have you noticed people coming to your
that's
shows?
That's the beauty of what my artwork is. It's the bread and butter of who comes to these shows are people that not necessarily would go to an art exhibition.
Yeah.
So you know,
I would consider myself in that camp. Honestly.
that's good.
You talking about it now, it makes me want to kind of, because I wanted to ask you more about art exhibitions. Like, I'm interested now. And so you saying it, I'm actually like, oh, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Because I'm
It's why I work so hard on thematic exhibitions. Really, I come from an old school philosophy that you get value for money when you want to go out and do something. So it's all working class theory. You go out on a do, you want your value for money, and so I'm very mindful that I'm dragging people on a wet Tuesday morning. If, like with the Frank and Joy show, it was ticketed because it was a small venue and there was only so many people who could get through the door at any one time.
Yeah.
And it was in November, so it was wet and raining. Yeah. And I'm mindful that if you're going come all this way to see my show, you want to be entertained. You want to make sure that it's got there's a reason to be there and enjoy it. And so I'm always mindful when I put a show on that there's a value for money, entertainment-esque kind of thing to it. It's big, it's grandiose. There's a rich story. There's things to be seen, things to read. There's things to do. There, especially with the Brian exhibition.
Yeah.
In each room, there's something interactive that either kids can take part in or adults can.
Amazing.
And it's very important. It's important as well, especially with this last show, was to really make it engaging for people coming into an exhibition space to enjoy it and thoroughly have a good time.
Yeah.
And have the kids enjoy it, so it's a family experience.
Yeah.
So that their kids themselves understand that going to an art gallery is not a dry, boring thing.
No, absolutely. I think if you show kids your works as the first things that they get to see, that's wonderful, right? And I think also I like the way that you make your artwork kind of accessible in various formats, right? You have coasters, you have you've done Henderson's relish bottles, which I know we were talking before pod about you and Richard talking about how important Henderson's relish is to you, and that's sort of been like a staple that's always appeared on a table and in sort of photos of old family and all that sort of stuff that's come through.
Well, it's important for me to make sure that my work's incredibly accessible to all. I come from a working class background. I come from a working class estate, council estate, and I lived on an estate right up until 15 years ago, when I were able to eventually get a mortgage. Well, no, the mortgage was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Up until then, I was renting or living on council estates and stuff. And so I've still got that in me as an ethos.
Yeah.
And so just simply being an artist that sells original artwork and excluding so many people from owning a piece of my work, that's why I was really willing and always, right from the very beginning, to sell prints of pretty much everything I can do.
Yeah.
And then if not prints, then something else that's smaller and cheaper. So if you went into my gallery, there's something for £3 and there's something for 3,000 quid. Yeah. You know what I mean? And everything in between. So it's just trying to get as many people to be able to appreciate, enjoy, own something of mine.
It's really lovely. Have you, over the years, obviously you've worked with lots of different people and different brands and stuff like that. One of the ones I wanted to ask you about was, so I love my shoes. Clarks. You work with Clarks? Yeah, I worked with Clarks. Designed some Clarks?
Well, I did some. I didn't design them. They were the classic desert boot,
Yeah.
and these were white leather ones that they printed an art piece of artwork on
Right.
both shoe. These like mod kids sort of thing. So it's a mod-esque sort of feel to it. So that was a really nice commission to work for.
Do you have a pair?
I do.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
hidden away.
Unworn, kind
Unworn.
of boxed.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really special. For, like, are there any other sort of? So I know you're into your ska music and you sort of rock and roll, and you know work with Noel Gallagher and amongst others over the years.
Stuff with Noel done, and we Oasis have done stuff. There's Rhoda Dakar, who's was in the Body Snatchers, ska musician. She's had a recent album, like a cover versions, which I did all the artwork for.
Amazing.
Well, did some work for Human League as well, and they did like this massive like compendium of work and did their artwork.
Did Monkeys at the Apollo? Did you
yeah,
as well?
Monkeys with some artwork for a video via Warp. So I've worked with Warp Films as well. So
beautiful.
Done poster designs and things.
Can I ask? So, 2004, the first paintings happen. You start getting your style. You start selling a few. The 99 quids and stuff are coming in. What sort of point are you getting to the point where you're making professional connections and like Noel Gallagher's tapping you up, being like, "Oh, I've loved your exhibition in London and stuff." Like, is it just a steady thing over time and like it just grows and then more people are sort of seeing it?
No, it's a deliberate process. You create work and you start hunting people down that might possibly like your work who might be influential to future projects. So I would send free paintings to people.
Amazing.
So I sent one to Paul Smith, a painting, and he got back to me and said, if you're ever in London, come and see me.
I love that.
And so I said, yeah, I'm in London next week.
Yeah,
I mean, I wasn't,
down.
but I was.
Yeah. I love that.
So I dragged all my family down and we all went to see Paul Smith and had a biscuit and a cup of tea with him and stuff like that.
Amazing.
Yeah,
you
so
made
that
your
was
own
nice.
destiny really with that
You
one.
do, yeah, definitely.
I love that. Just keep grinding it out.
I'm noticing a trend. The people we interviewed, again, you just ask sometimes.
Yeah.
People are so afraid to ask or like put yourself out there that a lot of the time that's what kind of holds you back. Whereas if you just put yourself out there and just ask and say, like you said, sending free paintings, going, hey, this, that, and the other, a lot of the time you get something back. I'm noticing a trend with this as well, with people we've interviewed.
Yeah, I think it's just those people that are a little bit more driven than others.
Yeah.
And or determined to try and make a success of where it is they want to be full time. So they will try everything and anything to make that happen. And doing that sort of thing where you knock on people's doors, you ask and you just to get that kind of hopefully get a positive feedback.
Yeah.
I don't do it as much these moments. I ain't got the time for it, but yeah.
I don't think you need to.
At this point, you've sort of done it, right?
I kind of, but you still, I'm still conscious that I've got to make a living for the rest of my life and pay for staff and stuff like that. So I never rest.
That's it. I guess once it gets bigger, and now you're like, I've got staff that I pay, and this needs to carry on. Is there sort of a pressure with that? And
yeah, there's always a pressure with that, definitely. Yeah. Because you've got to sell more to keep all that going. In a sense, you know, it's like I've got a gallery, I've got staff, I've got electricity, I've got VAT, I've got my stepson Chris. He manages the business side of things. Yeah, leaves me to do the art side of things. But then we have a couple of people work for us. They work in the gallery, but they also work in the office too. When it comes to design work and stuff. So there's a little team going on. And that's been like that for a few years. But that comes with its own kind of, we need to earn this much now to keep everything going kind of thing.
What can we do to get to there kind of?
That sort of thing, yeah.
Do you find that when the business side of it comes in, does it affect your sort of creativity side? Or are you able to go, let me just focus on some stuff and things will happen? Or have you ever felt like when you've been more under pressure that the creative side comes out more or in response to that? Or? Well,
I'm always been a person that works to the deadline. So I always want pressure. Yeah. I always need something to spur me on and keep me going.
That's actually quite cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So if there was no need for anything, I'd just get fat and lazy and watch I was under the hammer in the morning and stuff, and I ain't got time for that kind of stuff. So that's a good thing.
I would 100% relate to that. Like, as I've been doing my own business now for 5 years, I think, coming up to, And one thing I realised about myself is I need a deadline. So when I've got like a client on the phone or something, and they're like, oh, I'm like, when do you want the video editing for? And they're like, oh, if you can have it within the next 2 months. I'm like, that's not. I need a deadline because that's never. To me, that's like never.
Yeah.
And then so I need that deadline to work to, and I need that kind of. I almost live off the anxiety of just like, oh my god, I've got to get this done. And then I don't know if you feel the same way when like the deadline's up and the pressure's on. That's when it just I don't know, it pours out of me a little bit more.
Yeah, it definitely feeds the beast for sure. That desire is fed by the need.
Yes,
in a sense.
I relate to that a lot.
Can we talk about one of your recent performance pieces? 400 Crisp Butties. Where on earth did you get the idea for that one?
It just kind of came to my head at a random moment. That's where inspiration strikes, isn't it? It's like the most dullest moment in your day.
Yeah,
you end up with some daft idea, and basically, what the starting point for anything like that is with a boy with a leg named Brian show was on for a year.
Yeah,
and I wanted people to make sure that it wasn't out of people's minds. As an exhibition, because it's so easy. I mean, 99% of the time I have an exhibition, I only have it on for a week. It used to be just for a day or a weekend.
Yeah.
When I couldn't afford to hire a place out for any more length of a time. I mean, my first show, proper independent one, which was a Joyous Chef, was in that little factory unit. It was on for one day.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't afford it any longer than that. I couldn't afford to staff it. I couldn't afford to rent any more of the space out. So to get people there, which was a factory unit just near where the post office is, and sit in a garage on the way to Meadow Hall, I hired a bus, double-decker bus, and I got people to go on the bus for 2 pence to get them in there to see the show.
Why 2 pence?
Because that's what the subsidised travel used to be as a kid in Sheffield.
Amazing.
So 2p bus ride.
It's all
That's
these
cool.
little details,
Pete,
Pete,
really cool.
that I love about your things. There's a playfulness and a twinkliness
well,
and like
absolutely,
a magic to it all.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Everything's got my tongue's firmly planted in my cheek with pretty much 90% of the things that I do.
Yeah.
And so for this particular show, for the boy with a leg named Brian, I wanted to make sure that every month there was something going off to keep people reminded that we're talking about a boy with a leg named Brian.
Yeah.
So this performance piece came to my head to do these Crisp Butties, and I wanted it to be a bit like Gilbert and George would do it.
Yeah.
If Gilbert and George had come up with this idea to do a performance art piece and we're making Crisp Butties, I wanted it to be kind of not pompous, some dignity to it, some theatre, shall we say. And so that's why I decided to do that. But also, I find performance art quite bemusing and a bit of like Emperor's New Clothes a lot of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought I'd do a piece that's actually practical and someone walked away with something useful like a crisp sandwich.
Yeah.
So I just did...
Was there a preference on flavour, on bread, or that sort of stuff?
Yeah, well, those things were thought out. The bread had to be white sliced and thick.
Yes.
Thick white slice. And
Oh.
I went basically with Warburton's.
Yeah.
Because it's slightly bigger than other standard crisp bread.
Did you go Warburton's Toasty, orange?
Yes, toast.
Have you seen the green ones? They're mega
Extra thick.
Oh my goodness! If a piece of toast with that, you really know about
right?
it.
That's good, isn't it?
I got a confession.
What's that one?
I've never had like a Crisp Butty ever.
You've never had a Crisp Butty?
No.
Nah, you've been brought up on the wrong side of the tracks, mate. Yeah.
Never. No,
Yeah.
I've just realised now because you're going on.
What
about
do you
it,
have
like,
then normally when you were a great kid?
just
Oysters
cheese,
or something?
cheese sandwich.
Cheese sandwich.
Cheese sandwich.
It was cheese sandwich with brown sauce. That
All
was
right,
it.
Okay.
Just that's it.
My-
Never. No, I just didn't put crisp and bread together.
My grandpa used to make the best Crisp Butties, and
How
I've,
do you
I've,
make a good Crisp Butty?
I've
What
no
is-
idea why his tasted better than anyone else's, but if I make them myself, I'm like still not as good.
No.
Like when I was like 4 or 5 years old, I went to stay with my grandpa for the first time. I think because he lived in Leicester. I grew up in Lincolnshire, and we got back to his house. He drove me there in his 3-wheeler, Robin Reliant, and he had the
Bellboy.
beaded seat covers.
All right.
Oh my god!
Because he had a motorcycle license, he couldn't drive a car, but he could drive a Robin Reliant because they're basically a motorbike.
Yeah.
And we got home and he made these cheese and onion crisp. I've no idea what the crisps were. I think that's the magic
But
ingredient.
even less epicenter of crisp making. It's probably got them the freshest crisps you'd ever could imagine.
Honestly, the taste of that crisp butty was like, I think that was my first ever one. It wasn't my last, but
I'll have one tonight.
oh my goodness.
You should.
I'll do it.
Bread and butter.
What crisp
crisp?
are you
I need to know
recommending,
this, yeah.
Pete?
Well, what's your favourite crisp?
God, that's a question. I'm oh my
You
god,
going- are you
Walker's Max.
Yeah, but are you going posh?
Paprika.
Are you going posh crisp for a sandwich? Because sometimes the sluttier the crisp, the better the sandwich.
There you go.
Frazzle sandwich sometimes.
Frazzles are insane. To be fair, what about you, Pete? What's your favourite?
Salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar
yeah.
Walkers, or is it just any?
Well, it used to be KP because they were really tangy, but they don't do them now. So Walkers for sure.
I bet that salt and vinegar pops through on a crisp sandwich. You know,
It does, yeah.
In honour of you, mate, I'll have one tonight.
Good.
Yeah.
salt and
I'll
vinegar
give it a
crisp
go.
sandwich, mate. Absolutely,
I'll
That
give it a go,
sounds
yeah.
Hanging, doesn't
My
it?
missus, she'll look at me going out as well. She'll be like, "You've never had a crisp butty before," because she's a
Yeah.
crisp butty. I just never, until now, I've never really thought.
You had a
can I have
sugar sandwich, banana sandwich.
Sugar and
No.
banana.
Oh,
No. Never. I was honestly plain just cheese, brown sauce, white bread.
he got sauce. He got sauce.
I know. Yeah, this
Good
is
lad.
it. Yeah, silver spoon in his mouth. didn't need. He weren't hungry enough for a crisp butty.
Didn't realise we were on the podcast with the king. Sorry. I love that. I love that.
I'll have
Oh.
it tonight for sure.
Mate, please do. It's a delicacy. How quickly were they gone? 400.
So
400,
we
man.
we guesstimated how much how long it was going to take. So I think basically we can only really rent it out for not rent it out. Sorry, the space. It suited it that we did it from 12 till 3.
Oh my God. So you had like almost a ticking clock that you had to get
Pretty
all
much.
400 done
So
in.
we had 400 crisp butties to make within 3 hours. We didn't know if 400 people had come through the door or more had come or less. So we just bought all the crisps that were required. We bought a mixed selection. So there were some Monster Munch in there. There was some
To be
Endo's
fair,
ones.
Monster Munch.
Yeah. There was some
Yeah.
Seabrooks Crinkle Cook and there was some Cuts and some Walkers. So they're a bit of a mix of everything.
Yeah.
And each time that we changed up the crisps, we'd announce it, we'd ring a bell.
That's sick.
I'd stop, I'd clean my hands and start again.
Fresh
So-
gloves.
So fresh gloves. Well, they would have been fresh gloves when we bought the wrong size and didn't fit my hands by after the first set. So they just ripped. So I just had to use bare hands for the rest of the day.
That's
so
more
when we
real.
so we had a good queue. And so when we got to 300th crisp butty, we had an hour to go. The queue went. There were nobody left.
Oh no.
So we still got 100 to make, still got an hour left to fill. And we wouldn't know what was going to happen. So we went back into the, I didn't. Chris went back into the museum and started rallying people who were actually watching were going around my show. So I was saying, "Hi, mate, there's a Pete McKee's in the other room making crisp sandwiches. Come and get one." So
That must be so bemusing for somebody that's a fan of your work as well. Like, oh wow, do you want a crisp butty made by the artist? Like that's so cool. I love that.
So in that last hour we managed to get that last 100 through, and we got it nailed it within 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh, fantastic work, mate. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Afterwards, you're like, I don't want to look at a crisp butty again.
That's correct. Yeah, I still had one. Yeah, I've had crisps and I've had bread, but I have not married the two together.
Never the twain shall meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh wow. So I also want to talk about a bit of the work that you do with Heavily Pregnant.
All right. Yeah.
The work, the graft.
The graft. Yeah.
But
that's
so
it, yeah.
you dropped out of sixth form to be in a band.
Yeah.
You
no.
literally said that before, and widely publicised. But were Everly Pregnant Brothers the band that you always wished you could be?
No.
Or
No.
before that, you were more of a serious musician, were you?
Oh yeah. When I was in the bands that I was in, we originally the one or two bands. The first one was influenced by like the sort of specials
Yeah.
but the second phase of the special was a bit more music-y and orange juicy kind of stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
And Velvet Underground. So they were always kind of indie influenced bands that were in,
Yeah.
but with the pop ethos, so we could get onto top at pops.
Amazing.
But neither bands that were in, though I sort of kind of enjoyed the time in it. I enjoyed writing the songs more than actually performing live.
Yeah.
But that, like I say, that fizzled out.
What was the band called? Do we know the name, or is it secret?
The Times Will Change was the predominant band that was in for the longest period of time. They weren't the one that when I left. The original band, I trolled through the back pages of the Daily Mirror for horses' names, horse racing.
Yeah.
Because racehorses have got great names.
They do, yeah.
And this was way back. It was like 1979, sort of 80. And there was this horse called Miami Star, and then this other one called Miami Dolphin. And I thought, wow, Miami Dolphin sounds great. Well, let's call ourselves Miami Dolphins. And so we did. And then my brother went to America on holiday a year later and came back with a Miami Dolphins T-shirt, which is an American football team.
Yeah.
But I had no idea they were an American football team called Miami Dolphins. I just thought we'd nicked it off a racehorse. So we thought, well, fuck, we're fucked here. There's no way are we going to carry on as a band named after an American football team.
You'd end up getting sued, wouldn't you?
Well, exactly, yeah. So that's probably why we were held back. Our fame.
I think that's what it is. It's all the Miami Dolphins' fault.
So I
blame
digress.
the NFL.
Yeah, so basically the bands themselves didn't. And so fast forward, 30 years, and I bought a ukulele from in Whitby, from a second-hand shop. No, so it was like an antique shop, but these ukuleles, were modern. They were new. It were a purple one, little plastic toy type one, 15 quid. Mahoy ones, I think they're called.
Yeah.
You can still get them now. So I bought it just as a ornament and put it on my wall. And then Jules Holland show was on, and it was the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain.
Nice.
And they did Smells Like Teen Spirit on the ukuleles. I went,
yeah.
You can actually use these as instruments. I thought it was just a toy.
It's
so
mad, isn't it?
I pulled it off at wall, learnt how to tune it, and then started playing songs with it. And of course, I thought, oh my God. So I phoned my mates up, Bales. I said, Bales, you've got to get one of these ukuleles. Get one and we'll just have a mess about. We'll just do some gigs and stuff with him.
Yeah.
So
what sort of time is this, timeline-wise?
So I was, that would have been about 2006-ish.
So already doing the art sort of
the
started
art was
to
just
happen.
starting to happen, yeah.
And at the same time, let's form a ukulele band. This will be a laugh.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we'll just do some parties and stuff like that.
Love that.
And we did actually do a party. It was this friend of ours. We're doing this like Christmas party, and everyone had to do a skit. So me and Bells got dressed up, fancy dress, and we did Slade's "Merry Christmas" on his ukuleles. I just sort of kind of sang his way through it. And a friend of mine, who's Tim, who does a DJ night called 7x7.
Yeah, Lionel Vinyl.
Lionel Vinyl, yeah.
Wonderful man.
Yeah. They did these Christmas shows, and they said, well, you've done that one, play for us this, the same Christmas. So I wrote my son and Charlie. We did the same thing. We did Merry Christmas, and I think we might have done another song or something. And that was the catalyst of it, really. So
brilliant. And then your full band, you tour in Yorkshire, you just smashed the Tramlines set.
Yeah, I know. It's,
New album
it's crazy. It's that kind of steps. It's just like one thing led to another. It's like a ball, a snowball rolling down an hill.
How do you keep on top of all these ventures? You're DJing as well. You've recently played the Lead Mill.
Yeah.
R.I.P. the Lead Mill. One of the final shows was you doing your.
It was. Yeah.
What did you call it? It was something very specific.
Youth Club Disco.
Youth Club Disco.
And that was connected to the show.
Yeah.
The boy with the name Brian.
So again, all sort of promo.
All tied
feeds in.
Feed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah. So I think it's just I'm driven. I'm compelled. I can't help it. I've just got this inner. Not inner. That's the wrong word, isn't it? Inner means still. Is that right? Anyway, I'll find the right word one day when I've learned how to read. But yeah, I've just got this like absolute driven. I don't know what it is. I just can't stop myself wanting to come up with stuff.
Do you think you could have genuinely just been a Tesco manager?
No, I don't think so. No, it was just a desperate thought. It was the shittest manager he'd ever known.
I'm listening now to your drive. You say, I've just got this natural drive. I was like, well, back then you nearly. So maybe I'd have to. I don't think you would have stuck it. I think you would have gone, fuck this.
No, I would have done something else. I would have been going on. I'd have tried to do other things while trying to be a manager. I'm sure of it. But I'm just naturally compelled. It's a curse.
Yeah.
I just can't settle.
I guess with these creative sort of ventures, they just if it feels good and it like, you know, it makes people happy, then go for it.
Yeah, I think that's the raison d'etre for any of this is to bring joy.
Yeah.
When I do it, so like the U Club nights were there, just people have a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and just have a little bit of wave of nostalgia.
What was your audience like for that one? Was it like Leadmill regulars, or was it like a lot of McKee fans?
A lot of people my kind of demographic, my age, and then their kids, sort of things as well. So that were good, and it was really good. It was like a very warm, wholesome crowd. You know, people singing along and dancing and stuff like that to things. It was really great, magical. That's
awesome. Favorite gig with the band?
We have the Pleasant Brothers. It's hard to tell, really. I mean, they always tend to be really good gigs because everybody just seems to have a good time, and you always end up, just everybody singing along. So
when we had Kieran on, he said you guys had just played in Hull, and the gig was crazy.
Yeah, I mean that was a really nice gig. It was only like 200 capacity venue. You know, we got about 150 people in for the first time ever playing that place.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was a big thing for us to get that many people through the door.
Oh, amazing!
From a standing start in Hull.
Yeah.
And everyone just absolutely had a ball, and we had a ball, and that's what it's all about. It's just getting that energy, and so it's hard for me to sort of say this gig was the best Brothers gig because they're all good.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Nice. Any like aspirational gigs that you want to play?
I think we've all earmarked Glastonbury.
Yeah.
For 2027. That'd be nice. We're trying to play key venues as well. So we wanted to kind of do King Tut's and Clooney.
Yeah.
So go up north and play there. That'd be really nice.
If anybody from King Tut's is listening, make it happen, please. Yeah, that'd be lovely.
We'll try and do that if we can. And we've played 100 Club a couple of times, and that's a great historic venue in London.
Yeah.
Brudenell's a fantastic gig to play as well.
Yeah.
So playing those like kind of key venues is really nice when we get the opportunity to do that.
Well, Nick kind of sold you out with Glastonbury, didn't he? Because he had that set space. You guys could have come on. Oh, you guys were expecting Patchwork. No, you were expecting Pulp. But you've got the Heavily Pregnant Brothers. You could have come on and done a couple of numbers. That would have been great.
Well, we're getting Nick to try and get us Glastonbury this time round.
I feel like he's got the connect, right? He's put in the shift, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yours is one.
What about Kendall?
Oh, Kendall Corlin.
We played it a few times.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we've enjoyed it there. That's a great thing.
We've just done the weekend there. I did some DJ sets there, and we did a live podcast, which is a mild disaster, but it was all right. It was fine.
It turns out live podcasting is very different. We'd have to come back to it because that was our first kind of
was our first kind of proper foray into it. Was Crosswires and then that, and we were like, I think we need to like figure the formula out a little bit more.
We're gonna have to do a performance
again. Yeah, I think with kind of stuff like that, you've got to be like really top draw. People know everything, don't they? A lot of the time for
absolutely
that sort of thing.
I think also just the way of performing, like when we're in here. Having a conversation, it's very different to like being on stage having a conversation in front of people because you want to be engaging for the fans, the audience, and I think because we both come from a performance background, our sort of main thing is like you can have a conversation like this and people listen to it at home, but when people are out and they're physically in a place, there needs to be some element of performance,
especially when they don't know you as well.
Yeah, like you were saying with the Crisp Butty thing, there needs to be a level of performance, animation, theatre, exactly. Then there needs to be a little bit more to it.
I felt like because we come from like a band kind of background where we used to be in bands together, and that felt like almost a protective layer for me, having that kind of either drums or guitar in front of me.
Yeah, you have.
But when you've just got a microphone, and it's no band, it's almost like stand up a little bit, where you're like, oh god, it's just my words.
Yeah,
that's a very different feeling.
You ever done stand up, Pete?
No, I've not done stand-up. I don't think that's the one I'm going to try and tick off. That's not my bucket list.
Yeah.
I sometimes you think to yourself, could I do stand-up? But now
get a little tight five together.
I did try and do stand-up as a kid at a talent show at school. Yeah, that didn't go down very well.
Oh.
No, I was playing football at school. The art teacher came up to me. This is what you're doing. I said, what do you mean I'm playing football? Because you're supposed to be doing your set for your talent show. I had no idea when it were. I just put my hand up and said I'll volunteer to do this. Yeah. So I ended up and tried to sell a couple of jokes, and they were terrible. Yeah.
Do you remember what the jokes were?
No,
No.
I can't remember. But
Maybe for the best if they were terrible.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, but then that's me. It's that put your hand up and volunteer for something daft. It was that compelling to show off and be on stage. But I just never got my act together. I didn't have a manager telling me what time to be on.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that.
We need that, Jim, don't we?
But yeah, we could do with
do
that.
the
To be
manager.
fair, yeah, no, we could do with the manager. I suppose we've got Andy H involved now, so he's sort of our manager a little bit. He said if we do all right with Pete, he might put us in touch with some of his other artist friends. So fingers crossed. We'll see how we get on. I wanted to touch on a couple of other things just before we sort of close off.
All right.
I've really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much for coming down. You've recently released a T-shirt because you're a big Sheffield Wednesday fan.
Yeah.
Never mind the bollocks. I'm Wednesday till I die.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that one a little bit, or is it a bit?
Well, it's just
difficult to talk about?
it was a statement just to say, because obviously it's well documented now that our current owner is an absolute idiot of a businessman.
Nice.
I
And
saw you
Nice.
searching the words.
Nice.
there.
Yeah,
and
Encyclopedia.
Very
and
diplomatic.
And he's run the club into the ground, and he's
Yeah.
got no money to do anything, and it's floundering. And there's no, we can't. We now, because of his ineptitude as a businessman, can't sign anybody for like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And so, well, or whatever it is, and we can't afford to buy players.
Yeah.
We can't afford to pay people.
Mm-hmm.
So he's clearly mismanaged the club to this point.
Yeah.
I'm sure when he first started, he had all the best intentions, and through fortune or through whatever, we've had like 3 decent managers through that time,
Yeah.
and they've all done something
Yeah.
positive for Wednesday, despite the fact that the chairman himself, the owner, is very uncommunicative.
Yeah.
So whatever, we've been able to come up with some performances and some good times,
Yeah.
but it's come to a head now where it's just impossible. It's unworkable.
Yeah.
And it's whether the club itself goes into administration and someone buys us for £1,
Yeah.
or he does actually genuinely find a buyer for what he wants it for, which is very unlikely. So, it's going to be some dark times coming up.
And so the T-shirt was to sort of unite the fans and be
Yeah,
like,
it's-
you know what? Never mind what's going on. We're still.
Yeah, I'm no matter what happens,
Yeah.
I'm Wednesday through and through, and Wednesday till I die kind of thing. So that's what that was all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is, if it gets to the point of administration, clubs being sold for £1, you taking it on?
Yeah. No.
you and a bunch of people, a bit like the
No
Fagans
chance,
kind of
no.
the Fagans guys. Do you reckon?
Have you
O'Hara
read
might.
House Talk? I don't want to be dealing with people like that.
You get a manager to do it. O'Hara might take it on. I reckon he would.
Hey, bloody.
Yeah, honestly, seriously though, you need so much money to run a club.
Yeah.
Being a millionaire is not enough anymore.
It couldn't be like the People's Club of Sheffield kind of thing.
Well, it certainly
everyone
could, but
owned it.
you would only end up being able to,
Afford what you can.
phone loan players and
Yeah.
hopefully, the only revenue you're going to get really. Well, I suppose that's all the club gets revenue from is TV and attendance, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to be like a people's club, but yeah.
What does
It
what
comes
does
at a
Wednesday
cost.
mean? What does Wednesday mean to you then, as a fan? Is it?
It's unnegotiable. I don't think you can actually tell. It just ruins your weekend if they lose, and it makes a weekend if they win.
Yeah.
And you just
You're a big fan then. You're a bit like you a big fan.
Yeah, I don't go to matches anymore. Unfortunately, I can't afford to go to football, but I'm still a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So still follow them religiously.
Yeah. I was going to say, no, it's important to you. I'm a Sheffield United fan, but I don't follow football like very intensely or anything. And I always enjoy like talking to people about that are really passionate about it, because it makes me smile. When there's certain moments and stuff. And one thing I've admired about your artwork is, even though as a Wednesday fan, you've created these really beautiful Sheffield United posters and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Is that difficult to do? Do you kind of bite your tongue a little bit, or do you go, do you know what? We'll throw them a bone.
Yeah, I call it the red pound. If they can, if they pay for my gold swimming pool, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do you a Henderson's relish bottle, United. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I love that. Or you can chase the red pound with us, mate. We're a big fan of you.
Can I just ask why they compare? And just to go off topic, why do they compare Henderson's to what's the other one?
Liam Perrins?
Yeah, because they're not the same.
It's, the bottles are similar.
The branding's the
Yeah.
same. And when I got Henderson's Relish, I was like, oh, this is going to taste the same as that because of the branding. No, not at all.
Yeah.
Actually, two different flavours. I actually prefer Hendo's.
Oh, 100%.
Well done.
On like, I always have
Cheese on toast.
cheese. Oh yeah, cheese it is great on
Well,
cheese
yeah,
on toast. But
anything, mate.
I thought he was making a reference to my cheese
No,
sandwiches.
cheese sandwiches.
Cheese sandwiches,
I
mate.
always have Henderson's on my cheese sandwiches.
No, my eggs, man. It goes so well with my creamy eggs, my buttery eggs.
Mate, do you know what? Mushrooms, fried mushrooms in it. Oh my God.
I've never done that, you know.
Unbelievable. I'm also admiring you're putting a few videos on Instagram now where you're talking about Sheffield stuff. One of the recent ones you were talking about, what is it called, a Sheffield salad or something? The onions?
Yeah, pickled onions. No,
onions.
yeah, you sliced onions and cucumber
Yeah.
in a bowl of vinegar. I use non-brewed condiment, which is basically it's a petrochemical byproduct,
Right.
but it's sold in fish and chip shops. It's a vinegar that's in fish and chip shops.
Right.
So it's slightly milder in tang than Sarson's or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I prefer it. So you just put it in a bowl, let it rest for a few hours or an hour, and then you put that on your chips or whatever, fish and chips and stuff,
Love that.
on your tea. It's nice, really good.
Any other delicacies from Sheffield that people definitely need to try apart from Henderson's?
Using tomato dip on fried sandwiches like bacon or sausages. So tomato dip is basically tin tomatoes. It's
Yeah.
just only one up a small amount,
Yeah.
just enough to dip your bread in.
Oh,
So you're
yeah.
not soaking it.
Oh, yeah.
And the tomatoes act as an umami to bring the flavour out of the bacon.
Oh, shit.
My God. You heard it here first, everyone. Get that on your
And that's
calendars.
a very, very traditional Sheffield thing.
I love that.
Fuck, I've never
I
heard
feel
of
like my old man does that, you know. I'm sure he does.
So what's on my list? It's,
Crisp
Crisp
sandwich for a
and
start.
now this umami kind of
Yeah.
dip.
Tomato dip.
And if you
Tomato.
go to Berra's for a pork sandwich, make sure you get that dipped as well in the.
Well, they offer that, or do you have to ask?
No, that's standard. You can double dip so you get both sides of bread.
This
But that's
is-
not tomato. That's like the juices,
Oh my God.
pork juices.
I'm sure when I went, they didn't offer me that, but I'm not Pete McKee, to be fair.
Well, ask for it then.
Yeah.
It's definitely there to be used.
If we're going to Berries and
Yeah.
say, "Can I be double dipped?" They're going to know what I mean.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go. Pete, thank you so much for coming in.
It's been a pleasure, mate.
It's been wonderful talking to you.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks, David?
No, unless you got anything to plug yourself with. You got
Yeah.
an Instagram or anything you want to share so we can put it on screen and let people know?
Instagram. No, I've got a show coming up called Vive la Nan, which is a show just of sketches, pencil sketches and ink drawings of nans that are all for sale.
Amazing.
And it's only on for 1 week in Harrogate, and then the week after it comes to my gallery for 1 weekend.
One weekend
And
only.
It's each show's different. So the Harrogate selection of Nan sketches
Yeah.
is different to the McKee gallery selection.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. So there's
That's
like exclusives.
Two different
Yeah.
exhibitions, but it's all of Nans.
You're not doing the Oasis route. Everyone gets the same set list. You're like there's completely different set lists for each. I love that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
One final thing I was going to say as well is you can buy Pete's artwork via your website and
Correct.
social media.
Yeah.
Search Pete McKee. You'll find him. He's everywhere. Come to a show. Check out the Everly Pregnant Brothers.
Definitely check out the Everly Brennan Brothers.
Oh goodness me! Anything else? You've done everything. Come see a DJ set.
Yeah.
Come to his gallery in Lear's Yard. Buy some stuff and keep the journey going.
Yeah,
basically,
cheers, buddy. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
no
Yeah,
worries.
you
I've
too, man.
enjoyed it. Thanks.
No
Been good.
worries. Thank you.
Circle back next week.
Circle back next week. Goodbye, everyone.
Love you, bye.
Bye.